Folks, we are just about ready to see one of the lesser appreciated, but one of a run. I. This game gave me a hard time, and I want to see it brought to its knees. So let's go. Let's go check out Mega Man Network Transmission by ZELLLOO. Take it away, ZELLLOO.
Hey everyone, I'm Zelo or Zello, however you want to say it. I will be running Network Transmission. This is a really cool side game in the Battle Network series. I'm also joined by my good friend Smog for commentary if you want to introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Smog BN. I'm a Battle Network runner, but I've been definitely brought to this game by Zelo and some other people. We started doing some weekly races, and this is a really cool game, especially if you're a fan of the Battle Network series. It's good stuff, and hope everyone enjoys seeing it.
Alright, so I'll go ahead and get us started. There's an unskippable cutscene at the start, so I'll just say when time goes. But this is a great cutscene because this is the ending of Battle Network 1 where we would fight the life virus. This takes place between 1 and 2, and this is the best cutscene in the entire Mega Man series because we get to see the Mega Dab.
The Mega Dab. You get one per run, an unskippable one.
Perfect.
There it is. Oh yeah.
So unlike the rest of the Battle Network games, this is actually a platformer in the classic style, but it holds a lot of the classic elements or the Battle Network elements like chip folders, the cyber world, such like that. So we'll get into those mechanics as we go.
Yep. This is basically a spin-off of a spin-off. If you want to consider the Battle Network series a spin-off, they took a lot of the same mechanics, but you'll see this is a platformer, so a lot of things kind of got translated into the two dimensions of a platformer.
All right, type is going to start in just a bit. In 3, 2, 1, go.
So yeah, if you're not familiar with the Battle Network universe, you're this human kid named Lan, and he, instead of there being a whole bunch of research on robotics, there was a lot of research in artificial intelligence and basically the internet. So Mega Man's actually an AI, a program, Mega Man EXE, and he's a net navigator for Lan. And he goes here on the internet, and we can bust viruses. So you'll see a bunch of the classic enemies like Metar or Metools, Metars, whatever you want to call them, are actually computer viruses. You see here, Zelo selected a bunch of chips. This is a tutorial, so we always get at least a cannon and a V-gun. And basically, chips are just strong attacks that have varying properties. Unlike the classic series, we have our Mega Buster, but it's really, really weak. Like, most of these enemies have, how much? Like 40
About
HP
40
or
HP.
something? And our Mega Buster does 3 damage right now. So we really don't want to use that. This chip that you see selected is called Cannon. It's a hit scan chip, so it hits enemies immediately, and it does 40 damage, so that's definitely much, much faster.
Do you want to explain the reg system real quick? Because I regged
Yep.
Sword at the very beginning of the run.
Yeah, so we have a folder in this game of 20 battle chips, and at the very beginning, before we jacked into the internet, Zelo put a chip as his regular chip, or reg chip, if you will, which is the sword chip. Basically, if you have a certain stat high enough, you can put certain chips as reg chips, and that means that every time you jack in as Mega Man, you will always have that chip as your first available chip. You also see the custom gauge at the top. Once it gets filled up, Zelo is able to open up his chip selection screen and select from 5 chips from the 20 chip folder. But as the tutorial always gives us some of the same chips, it's actually routed in quite nicely, especially because we get cannons, which, as we said, do 40 damage and it hits cans, so they're really, really good.
Yeah, we won't be opening the custom gauge much mid-level. It'll be used a few times. We can kind of abuse it to get turns where we want them.
Yeah, and then at certain points, we may want to switch our regular chip in the middle of a level, so obviously then we have to open up the custom gauge screen.
Alright, so Roll can't get back home because the net's on fire. This is actually what happens.
Yeah,
So if
and
your
here's
net's not
where
working,
you'll
you go.
probably... Yeah. If something's not working and it's connected to the internet, it's probably a virus. Here, this is the Fireman section, and if you're familiar with the classic Fireman stage, you'll definitely see some references. And you'll see a lot of, I would call it love to the classic series. Funnily enough, I probably played this before a bunch of the classic games, and going back to the classic games, I was like, oh man, I can't believe they were referring to, they were sort of nodding back to this. Even the music here has some of the classic Fireman themes, really good.
Yes.
And, the music in general in this game, very, very good. Not even in general, just the music of this game, very, very good.
Exactly. Alright, so we're coming up on our first boss. Go fight off Fireman. So this is why we ranked Sword at the beginning, because Fireman is actually quite difficult early game because he has a lot of HP and his attacks are very difficult to dodge. So this is why I equipped the heat armor that I got from Roll, and we're just gonna hopefully just stand next to him and he'll do nothing.
So bosses have, fortunately for us, very abusable AI. As you can see, ZELLOOO got really close to Fireman, and he kept doing this attack that was supposed to be a close range attack. But fortunately for us, with the sword battleship, we can hit him, but he can't hit us with that attack. So we kind of just loop him into that attack, and he's over with really easily. It's beautiful. And we'll explain some other boss AI things. Like, a lot of the time, they have counterattack mechanics if you use a certain, chips against them, and they have like shield mechanics, etc., etc. We'll bring them up as they come up.
Yeah. So I guess we could talk a little bit about resources. So you see the bars on the left. The yellow bar is HP. The green bar is MP. Every time you use a chip, your MP goes down, and it does recharge over time. But that's not the only thing.
Yeah, it recharges.
Chips. You want to go ahead?
I was just going to say, it recharges at a constant percentage. So, like, I forget what the exact number is, but if you have like 100 MP, let's say, it recharges at a, let's say 10% a second, even though it's not that high. So it would be like 10 per second, but then that rate stays the same even if you get higher MP. So if you had 1000 MP, which is not going to happen, but the percentage would be the same. So it would recharge by like 100 MP per second. Those numbers are all totally wrong, but it's basically to say that the bar will always fill up at the same portions. So if we have higher MP, we get more per second recharge. I explained that really badly, but don't worry.
That's okay. So there's not only that, but you can also see like the number of chips I have at the very bottom. This is why we killed a lot of Canadums early, because we could increase our max capacity of how many chips that we actually have to use. So there's a lot of resource management here.
In the top left corner, the little number by the cannons is actually how many of those chips we have. And you'll see that sometimes after an enemy is deleted, they drop this little chip-looking thing, this little card-looking thing, and Mega Man says, "Chip Spaghetto!" And that's a battle chip. And we get different rewards from enemies depending on how quickly we defeat them. Basically, there's a battle ranking system in Battle Network, and they kind of transferred it over here, so it depends on how long the enemy's on screen, if you get hit by their attacks, things like that. And you get better rewards if you defeat them really quickly and without getting hit. So like that Spiky, the big pink dog-looking thing, gave us a battle chip because we defeated it really quickly. Here we're going to do some shopping from Number Man. But plot-wise, I guess we should talk about the plot really quickly.
Yeah, we should.
Everything was peaceful, and then suddenly there's some chaos on the internet. It seems that there's this new virus, the Zero virus, making net navies go crazy. So Lan and Mega Man are checking it out. Fireman was going crazy because of the Zero virus, and now our friend Dex, who has Gutsman, has emailed us and said, Gutsman's acting strange, come check it out. So we're gonna go over to his place.
They really
and
just wanted to
see
give
if,
us an excuse to just beat up Gutsman in this game.
Yeah, for sure. And we're gonna see if that has to do anything with the Zero virus as well.
Alright, I didn't get any good chips in my draw. There's a lot of luck in this game involved in chip draws. Like if I were to grab like Sword or something strong, I could have it immediately. But since I don't, I'm going to do a strat where I weaken him for a bit, and then I'm going to re-reg Sword from the menu so I can draw it immediately. Gutsman's also quite tough because he hits really hard, and his main attack is super fast for something so early.
Yeah. There are definitely the difficulty curve in this game is really weird, especially casually. It's like it starts really, really hard, and then it gets easy, and then it kind of gets hard again. But in the speedrun, for the most part, the difficulty curve is just backwards, where it's like really difficult and then really easy.
Yeah, I'd agree on that.
And so we start with Gutsman, and I think the next boss, in my opinion, are like the two hardest ones that are the most likely to kill you.
That you have control of.
If you're, if you're a little careless.
So this is where the game actually branches out a bit, so we have to go save everyone. We actually can pick from 4 different stages coming up.
Yep.
So we're actually
classic style.
Yeah, so what we're actually going to do is we're going to set cannon, and we're actually going to go to the bank first, because the bank is the only stage we don't need other equipment from other stages to do well.
Yep. The internet area, the main internet area, is kind of like, not really open world, but it's kind of like an interconnected area. Now we're heading into these sort of like standalone stages. This is the bank stage. Some of my favorite music. And you'll see very quickly, this is Quickman's stage. There he is.
There he goes.
Looking pretty good.
He's a quick
Sure
boy.
to be fast. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the different kinds of power-ups?
Yep, sure. So there are a bunch of power-ups that just affect some of our different resources. Of course, we have HP memories, which just give us more HP. We have Regmem, which allows us to put stronger chips as our regular chip. We also have Mem Up, which increases our total MP, which also, as I mentioned earlier, makes it regenerate more per second. And then we have Zenny, which is just the money. It's Capcom money, you know how it is. And battle chips. And then the other very important one is one that's just called Power Up, but it's specifically the Mega Buster Power Up. And we can put more power into one of 3 stats, which are Attack, Rapid Fire, and Charge. We're not really going to do anything with Rapid Fire, but the other 2 will come into play like halfway into the run in a really big way. Here's Quickman. He's got a shield mechanic, so you'll see we shoot lemons at him for a little bit and then hit him with the cannon while he's attacking, because that's when he's vulnerable. Is he being aggressive today?
No, I'm just fumbling a bit. It's a scary fight.
For sure.
I'm glad that Wide Sword killed, because otherwise he probably would have shot me in the face and I would have died.
Yeah, in my opinion, Quickman is the most difficult boss in the speedrun.
Yeah, he's also the most fun.
Yeah, for sure. He's the most satisfying to get good at.
Alright, so we're gonna make a quick shopping trip now that we have some cash. We're gonna go...
So that was the bank stage. Quickman also is infected by the Zero virus, and so after a bunch of the time after we defeat a virus, they're like, or boss, they're like, oh, what was I doing? I kind of like blacked out. So we're gathering information about this Zero virus. But we're gonna go to our friend Yai's house, to her garden. Her garden's going crazy.
The garden's pretty important because I need to get tree bombs fairly early in the run. This is a tough one to get early. Okay, we got the first tree bomb. That one's a really tight window because you need to S-rank the kill plant in order to guarantee that you get that tree bomb. Oh, I'm actually I forgot I need to go get the HP memory.
Oh,
but
the
S,
marathon, yeah.
yeah, but S ranking the first kill plant's really tight because you have only about 3 seconds to do it.
Yeah, it's honestly, I barely ever get it. So then we also have these diamond-y shaped things called mystery data. You saw ZELLOOO is going through some different colored ones. These blue ones always have the same contents. So we always know, hey, this one's an HP memory, this one's a power-up, things like that. There are green ones that you might also see. Those have random items in them. Obviously, depending per stage, they have like different drop tables. And then there are also purple ones, which you need an item called an unlocker to get. But usually they have really good stuff, so that's why they're locked, because you gotta spend an extra little bit of money to get the contents. This is, I think, the only locked one we get in this stage, right?
In any percent, yeah. This is the only one.
Yeah, in any percent. And that's because it has a power-up for the Buster, and we want 8 by halfway through the game.
Yeah, my movement's been a little sloppy, so I'm trying to play safe on these spike cycles here. There you go. That should be good. So it's pretty short, sweet stage, but it has a scary jump where if I miss it, I'm going to lose about 1.5 minutes, so I'm going to focus to make sure I don't fall into the pit right here. That scared me. Alright, so we're going to do a quick folder edit. You saw I bought a bunch of EVs. We're going to just swap those into the folder, and then we're going to reg them and use those on the boss.
The boss is Needleman, and he's a wood-type Navi. And so we just have 4 types in this game, and also like a null normal type. We have fire, aqua, elect, and wood. So fire against wood, wood against elect, elect against aqua against fire. It's pretty basic stuff, but very important for sure. Needleman was not terrible there.
Yeah, he gave a pretty good pattern. He can do a lot worse. He can just kind of corner you, and that's why I grabbed the safety HP memory. Because if you don't grab it, he can 2-shot you. Alright, another quick shopping trip. We're gonna go, we'll go buy our safety half energy, and then we'll get 3 elect blades for the rest of the run. So the next stage coming up is Waterworks.
The Waterworks stage.
Yeah, it's
sure.
it's probably the longest stage. It's definitely the most luck dependent at the very beginning with the draw, because I need a good draw.
Yeah, this is probably one of my least favorite stages, just because, not that it's bad, it's just stressful because of how long it is, and how many different sections you have to think about. At the beginning, we're gonna be fighting this penguin virus. If you're familiar with Classic, you might know what stage this is. They're called Pepe's, Pepe the Penguin, and they drop a very important battle chip that we're gonna farm really quickly. It's called, the full name would be Double Jump, but we affectionately refer to it as Doob Jump because of the character limits. And it basically will be super important very soon. Not very soon, but in the next few stages. As you might guess, it lets us jump in the air multiple times, and it's very, very worth it.
Yeah,
lets us skip.
We will definitely be abusing it.
Yeah, for sure. It lets us skip certain full rooms even, so it's very important to get those. Give the bear a hug.
Yeah, that's a scary damage boost. The hitbox on that bear is very easy to like slip off, and you just get stuck and die.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do
You get like
edit.
if you accidentally get hit twice by it, it's not good.
No lucky repair, unfortunately.
Unfortunate. So as you might have guessed already from Pepe the Penguins, this is the Iceman stage. We get some other nice, cool, classic nods that we can sometimes get past without having to actually do the puzzle, but we know the cycles here pretty well, or at least ZELLOOO does, so not a huge problem.
Yeah, these Yoku blocks are really slow, so we just want to kind of skip them. And the cycle lines up really nicely with how that room starts.
Yeah.
So you grab a couple more power-ups real quick right here. That second reg up is really important because we were talking about regging chips as your default, but you need reg ups in order to increase your memory so you can reg more powerful chips. So that second one lets us gives us 24 megabytes of memory, which is good enough to do stuff like Elect Blade and Tree Bomb, which is really good.
Yeah.
So here's the first of 2 mini-bosses in this run. This thing is awful.
Yep. This big puffy pufferfish virus has a few different things. First of all, every time it splits into the smaller sections, they can head in a random direction at some sort of like random speed. So you saw one of them was actually shooting really quickly towards ZELLOOO. So it's always a little bit of a different fight. The other thing is that we really want to try to get as many of the chips that they drop, because they become really useful later on. It's a chip called BubV, and it has a very useful area of effect. And it's also a water chip, so it's good to have a few different elements.
Yeah, I got 11 of them, which is that's enough for the run, so that'll be okay.
Yeah, that's for sure like a decent amount.
So we're gonna do a Death Warp real quick. This gives us a full HP and MP refill since we have to come out to this exit anyways. And we can also preset Elect Blade before we take off and just go straight into this area.
Yep. The full health refill is nice because there's another bear, and we can just get past it really quickly with a little damage boost. And there happens to be a big energy refill right after it, so it's very inconsequential.
Thank you. Shrimpy on the Barbie right there.
Aw, yeah. Troll tree bomb.
I know, right? Alright, so here comes Iceman right here. Hopefully I'm not gonna miss this hit. Alright, we're pretty much safe.
Yeah.
He hits like a truck, but as long as we don't get hit by the first
really
attack,
does.
it's a consistent fight.
Yeah, he only takes 3 hits from the Elect Blade, so it's quite nice.
He's still so adorable, though.
Yeah.
He's baby.
He really is.
Like, in the anime, him and Aquaman together, they are like the most adorable, like, on-screen, like, pair.
Makes sense.
Alright, so we're gonna go to the last of the 4 stages. This is Shopping Comp. This first room is really cool. It has the best horizontal movement in the run. So hopefully I'm going to be able to get this okay. But if I can get like a shooting chip at the beginning, that'll help my movement out a bit.
Yeah.
I got shotgun, which is not great, but I can work with that.
Yeah. This is the shopping comp, as was said earlier, the shopping computer area. And there's definitely, every time I watch you do it, I'm like, this movement is so nice. We pick up an HP memory from a blue mystery data. Oh, dash attack as well. Oh, so good.
It is always good.
Dash attack, which is the thing where he kind of moves forward in a sort of gliding manner. That chip gives you invincibility, which is really nice for the duration of its attack. Grab the power up from a blue mystery data. And we're just sort of getting through, it's just sort of getting through the stage.
Yeah, I didn't skip that
This
laser
one's-
cycle, so I'm gonna take this safe.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Alright, so the boss coming up, you might want to explain him and why we don't want him to do anything.
Yeah, so Brightman has a sort of shield mechanic as well. He has, and every time, it's a counter mechanic, so every time he gets hit, his shield gets hit, he shoots off an attack. It's really annoying, and he's only vulnerable for a short period after his sort of like taunt animation. So we put him in his taunt animation and basically just lock him with tree bombs because he's an electric type Navi and tree bomb is wood, and he's just dead essentially. So that's definitely much more what you want to see.
Yeah, if you ever see any of his attacks, you are in trouble. You are in serious trouble.
I can't believe how easy you made that look.
Yeah.
Oh, this boss.
I know, it's so good to get that revenge. Like, I started running this game for revenge.
I remember the first time I fought him, I was like, what? What do I do?
Shoutouts to our fellow runner, Fat Kid, who still legitimately does not know how you are supposed to fight that boss casually.
Yeah. Fat Kid has been a long-time player of this game. And he definitely has some of the best clips out there of content happening during this run.
So this is the first level where we're gonna like reg Doob Jump, and you're gonna see it like break stuff immediately. Wow, I got a bunch of swords at the beginning.
Yep. So we did the first 4 sort of split stages. Now we have a choice between the arcade and the power plant. The arcade is Color Man stage, and this is the first spot where Doob Jump comes in really useful. We can just sort of skip some platforming and just get to one of the mystery data that we need to progress the comp, the area. Pretty good.
Yeah,
it's a good shit. It's a good shit.
Yeah, as long as you have chips and MP available, you can chain the jumps as much as you want to. So we're gonna combine that later to make some really, really big skips.
Yeah, the big thing is you can only have up to 10 of them, which we have, and they also they use quite a bit of MP. So usually you can only use like 3 of them at a time, something like that.
Funny thing I want to point out.
Speedrun.
Yeah, funny thing I want to point out. The little bar icons on the slot machines in the back of that room, they still say rock in the English version. That's funny.
Yeah, another thing you might notice really quickly, in the green MP bar in the top left, there's the bright green, and then there's the dark green. The dark green is still counted as how much MP you have, but it just shows you how much the selected chip would use if you were to use it. So you can see the Doob Jump actually uses quite a lot. It's a big section of it.
Alright, should be good here. I'm a little concerned about the boss fight because I'm going to be starting with swords.
Oh, really?
No.
I wouldn't do that.
Nah, I'm going to bail out on that.
But I'm really scared.
Oh, I have 12 of these. Okay, that'll be enough. 12 is exactly enough.
Yeah.
And we even got some other stuff, so it'll be alright.
Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, Color Man as a boss has one thing that he does that's really scary. He slowly walks towards you.
It is literally the scariest thing.
It is so nerve-wracking because he can basically just corner you at a certain point, and you it's something to experience.
Yeah, that flame tower that he shot out, he can just chain that over and over.
Yeah, once he's cornered you.
I'm actually going to use the half energy here because I think I'll die. I'd rather not risk it.
Yeah, good call.
He just decided to roll the ball over and over. Jeez.
Yeah.
What a bad pattern. But we lived, so we're good. Yeah, we didn't really mention deaths in this game, but deaths in this game are very scary because if you die, you do get your HP and MP refilled, but you do not get any of your chips back. That only happens when you jack out, so I wouldn't have a lot of my resources. So this is a very difficult run because of that.
Yeah, ideally we don't die for the resource management section reasons, I guess.
Alright, so into power plant we go. This is the most difficult level to balance MP and chip use on because we need a lot of MP for Doob Jumps, but we also need MP for the boss at the end.
Yeah. This is definitely this stage has a room, a section that I still have never done casually the intended way. I just use Doob Jumps to completely skip it, but that'll come in a bit. I'll spoil a little bit. You can probably guess though, this is Electman's stage. So if you're familiar, once again, with the classic stage, you might see some little sections that are, very obvious references. Gotta give the classic some love.
Yeah, this entire second area right here is very, very vertical, so I'm very careful making my way up.
But Doob Jump obviously helps with that a whole lot.
A lot. Gotta love that pounding bass line, though.
Yeah, music's so good.
Oh, I just understood the double jump icon.
Yeah. There's some really great chip art in this game. We can't see foot stomp, unfortunately, but that one's probably the best. Where Mega Man just is stomping an enemy nabby.
Sorry, what is a double jump? I only know Doob Jump.
Ha. Smog, please.
Yeah, it's you gotta.
Yeah, but
so this is the section that's we just Doob Jump up to this ladder and skip the whole section because it's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. Can confirm. It's rough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that room is particularly notorious in 100% because I have to get a ship. I regged the wrong ship. Oh, this is going to be a very fun fight now.
Ooh,
This is going to be fun. I was supposed to reg Tree Bomb. This is going to be a very interesting Electman fight, and it's very likely I'll die now.
Yeah, just make sure you reg Tree Bomb if you're about to die. Those clouds that just like don't even move. So yeah, these clouds, Electman has a counterattack sort of. Are you locking him? Oh my goodness.
I've never done that strat before, and I'm glad that worked out as well as it did.
That's crazy.
Wow, that was just improv on the fly, and I can't believe that worked.
Yeah. Electman has a counter sort of mechanic where you hit him and he teleports behind you and tries to shock you. And then once you actually damage him with a chip, he spawns these thunderclouds up top, which move at a random speed and a random distance, and then drop down a thunderbolt. Usually he's dead within like 4 hits from a tree bomb, but ZELLOOO regged the wrong chip, and we got to see that, which is actually really cool.
Yeah, we learned that he can't spawn clouds if there are already clouds on screen, I guess, so that was funny.
Yeah. Unlike the cannon chips, the Bub V chip is not hit scan, so you saw a little projectile going across the screen. And apparently, Electman just has to get some better iframes, because that just locked him.
Yeah, locked him good. So we're going to be doing just a little bit of plot progression here, so this is actually a good time for donations or announcements.
Actually, yeah, we do have... I just want to thank everybody who jumped onto the $2 train over in Mega Man Ram. Thank you so much to Lena Inverse, Pancakes, me. Oh, right, I donated. Also, Hex, thank you so much for the $2. And also, thank you to Malamet, who gave $10 for the $2 train. And also, thank you to MTI, who gave $20 for the $2 train. With a message, hello, friendos. Thanks for the awesome entertainment all weekend. It seemed like the least I could do to help out. Let's get some Axiom Verge hard mode going. Thank you, MTI, and yeah, we are more than halfway there, so if you want to see an even harder Axiom Verge, then get those donations rolling.
Yes,
Thank
please.
you so much, everybody.
Please make Severa suffer. Severa is a great friend and runner, and we want to see her suffer through hard mode, so get those donations in. Smog, you want to explain the route right here?
Yep. So, we are doing some more investigation on the internet towards the Zero virus, and we get a cool little tip from, who was it? From Higsby? Yeah, he says, oh, there's this area you might want to investigate. So we go there. Lan has the genius idea, since it's the internet, to set a bookmark, which essentially just lets us get back to one of the previous areas we were just at anytime we want after jacking out. So we set a bookmark, and then we go to Numberman's shop and get some power-ups. You see we have maxed out our Buster's attack and charge. So then we just do that, jack out, we use the bookmark that we just set, and we go to the next few stages.
Yeah, this actually changes how we play the game a lot, because now we're not going to be dependent on chips for most of our attacks, because the Buster's actually good now.
The Buster is amazing. The fully charged shot does 90 damage. And as you will see, the charge shot has 2 charge levels. It has a mid one, which is green, and it has the red one, which is fully charged. If you keep an eye on it, you'll see that it reaches the fully charged level super fast. So that's a whole 90 damage without using any of our resources.
So any of you who have played this casually knows that this level right here is really awful to get through. Yeah, we're not going to play any of it right here.
Yeah, this first room just doesn't exist. Old Area 1, never heard of it. Do jump to the rescue. I still have never played that room casually.
You don't need to. Like, I can tell you from playing 100%, you don't need to.
Yeah.
So I actually need to take 1 damage boost at the end. I have just barely enough HP to do it right now to get to a couple extra hits. This is a little scary. Like, this and the next stage are the 2 hardest stages to execute.
Yeah.
To run.
There's some platforming at the end of the stage on some narrow little platforms that this used to be my least favorite stage. Because, I don't know, it's really stressful.
It's hard. It's very stressful.
It's hard. But once you sort of learn, especially that damage boost at the end of it, really helps to know that you can just get hit and make it safely. Oh man, you're just going so fast. Yep, you just slide off that platform and you're safe. This boss is Swordman. So a lot of the bosses have sort of counterattacks programmed to happen after you hit them with a chip. However, a lot of them don't do their counterattacks if you just hit them with a fully charged Buster Shot. So Swordman, unfortunately, he's doing that attack, which just wastes a lot of time. But if you're lucky, sometimes Swordman literally does nothing because you just hit him over and over with the Buster.
Yeah, the Buster doesn't cause iframes at all, so we can just kind of pound them and they get far fewer attacks in, so bots fights are generally much safer now. Generally.
Yep. And the Buster not causing iframes is actually super, super important.
573 Zenny. Shoutouts to Konami.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't even a Konami game.
The regular viruses, the normal enemies that you'll fight throughout the game, don't get iframes, but bosses do, from attacks from chips. So later on, you'll see we use the fact that the Buster does not cause iframes to deal a lot of damage in combination with chips. Now we're just going to some of the next stages. They get unlocked. This part's very linear. You do the first stage, you unlock the second stage, you do the next stage, you do the next stage. This is Strange Grav Zone, Strange Gravity.
Yeah, the gimmick here is that the different color platforms change your jump height, so just have to be wary of that. It's not too bad normally, but doing this in a run is pretty tough. Hopefully gonna stay ahead of these cycles right here. That's good.
And in my opinion, this is where some of the enemies start hitting really hard.
Oh, I just ran right
specifically...
into pressure, so that's not helping.
Oh no. The red cannons, the Canodoms, are like the strongest version of the Canodome, and they hit it really hard.
I accidentally stepped into the warp early, so I have to go back and get this mystery.
Yeah, go back and get it. Yeah. I always do that.
Yeah, this has the third and final reg up movie, which we'll use to reg M Cannon and Star Arrow later in the run, so definitely need to step back and get that. So we want to S-rank those Canodome 3s because we need several M-Cannons in order to finish. But we also have to be careful not to get shot by the M-Cannons because they hurt a lot.
A lot. Another thing is that a lot of the time enemies will deal a lot of contact damage more than their attacks sometimes. So if we take damage boosts through an enemy, we want to be wary of how much HP we have. So there was like a damage boost ZELLLOO skipped earlier because it would have been a lot of contact damage.
Yeah, it probably would have killed me, so play it safe. We reg barrier after doing a folder edit that allows us to just get to the end of the stage safely, and we can have barrier for Gravity Man. He's a very interesting boss because he has low-level AI, but it's like, oh, he's dangerous. Watch out, he's gonna get you.
Yeah, and by low-level AI, we mean when we get into the boss room, Lan specifically, or Mega Man makes a comment about, oh, he seems to have some low-level AI. I guess he's doing some basic stuff. But, yeah, you can not shoot him from the front where his arms are, but if you get to that spot behind him, there's not much he can do. He does have some attacks that are really annoying, but the goal of the fight, as you might expect, is to get him before he even has the chance to do some of those attacks. And so the barrier chip that we used a little earlier is really good. We can only have 5 of them because it's that good, but we got it from Higsby a little bit earlier. It basically gives us a free hit, and then we get some iframes after that hit, where we don't get any damage. It can be contact damage, can be from a projectile, from any enemy attack. You just don't take any damage, and that's going to be very, very useful.
Yeah, it might get used on the next boss, because I got a very lucky draw, and I got Babu, which is exactly what I want for the second mini-boss that's coming up. So if needed, we can switch to barrier.
Yeah. This is the no grab zone.
It's
Even
a
though
lie.
there totally is
Yeah,
gravity.
there's
yeah.
gravity. It's very low, but it's there.
It's low gravity, but you know.
Not
And
too much
this
happens
first
here.
room, yeah, this first room is another one of the areas where Doob Jump comes and makes our life easier. Because there's a whole section to the right that we don't even worry about, because we know that the warp to the next area is right there. So we just do a little careful platforming, don't get hit by the spikes at the top,
Yeah.
and it's all good.
Yeah, spikes in this game actually do not insta-kill you like they do in
Yep.
normal Mega Man games. They just do 200 damage, which in most cases in this run will still kill you.
Yeah, especially if you've taken even a little bit of damage. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, because right now our max picking up this HP mem I think is 280 with the safety HP mem. Anyway, here's the other mini boss right here. This is why we have Bumpy.
This is a big yo-yo boss. Usually you have to thread a projectile through the little needle, but Bug V has a really great area of effect, and we can just sort of hit him, and he's dead.
Yeah, he's very gone.
And this
So-
is Starman.
So I'm gonna try and force him to do Star Arrow over and over by spamming shots, and hopefully he's not gonna give me too many meteors. But this is a really bad pattern to get. Ooh.
Yeah, Starman can be locked into this thing, but he also has an attack that can cover a lot of the screen. And depending on where he is positioned on the screen, it can be undodgeable from where you are.
Yeah, thankfully we did not
You
see
got
the
him.
long attack, but it was a
Yeah.
little scary.
Yeah.
Gosh, Starman gets such a glow up in Battle Network.
Yeah, Starman's cool.
I really like his design. I really love like the extra designs. Like Battle Network in general, I love the designs, like for the robot, the nabbies. But I think
I do too.
the exclusive ones in this game in particular are really cool.
Good Abitiman. That's a voice line that he says that I always enjoy. All of the if you noticed in the beginning cutscene, all of the voice lines are still in Japanese. So
Yeah, they used all
it
the
says,
original
Good
anime actors,
Abitiman.
so it's really faithful in that regard. Alright, so we're coming up to the worst boss in the entire game. Like, I don't
Yay!
So as you may or may not have guessed, the Zero virus, Zero like X0. Oh my goodness, what's he doing in this
What?
game? This isn't the X series or the Zero series. Crazy. Anyway,
It's not over yet.
it's not over yet. Zero is definitely an interesting boss. He can be really unfair.
even... Yeah, interesting is the best way we can put it.
Yeah.
You should explain, like, his main attack that we hate.
Yeah. So, well, first I'll just say he has sort of shield counter mechanic where he teleports behind you that you'll probably see. He also does a different attack if you're up close to him. But then once he gets to low HP, he does an attack called Phantom Zero, which is a double full screen slash that is literally just undodgeable. So that's why we have barriers. However, he can just do that attack over and over if you get really unlucky, and you can just die. So ZELLOO's gonna try to
I'm gonna play safe.
fight him in a certain way so that
There you
he's when you're close up to him, he's less likely to do the Phantom Zero attack. So that's why he was trying to bait out the sort of close attack.
Like,
No
yeah,
Phantom Zeros today.
thank goodness. Yeah, it looked like that wasn't a threatening fight. You are terrified that he's gonna do Phantom Zero and you just lose a barrier. And if you're out of barriers and you don't have HP to damage boost or you can't get over to him in time, you will just die instantly because it's 300 damage and we don't even have that.
It's true. So, plot-wise, we get here and we're like, oh, Zero's the origin of the Zero virus. Who would have thunk? So we take care of him, but then there's this guy that shows up. Sorry, excuse me. And he's the Professor. That's his name, the Professor.
The Professor.
And he's trying to revive the World 3, which was the criminal organization from the first game. And he wants to do that by reviving the Life virus, which was the final boss of Battle Network 1. You saw him at the beginning in the first cutscene of this run. And so we're going back to the internet to do some research.
Yeah, we're told that they're hiding the life virus data in the Undernet because that's the only place where we could store such large data. So we're going to head over to the Undernet.
Yeah. The Undernet, of course, being like, you know, the dark net sort of equivalent, sort of dangerous place.
We also have to get past this
universe.
Navi right here. Yai says we have to be really rude, so I'm just gonna go to my favorite line in this. Like, we have to be really rude and crude as possible.
Rude and crude.
Where is it? What, you gonna try and stop me, huh? Don't try any funny business, or I'll have to stab you. Rawr!
Rawr.
I can't believe that's actually in the game. What a good line.
And then Gutsman's also just hanging out. He's like, I can't fit through this path. Poor Gutsman. Unfortunately, on our way to the internet, we find out that the warp, they set up some sort of trap, some redirection, and we just get sent to the official center, and Proto Man's like, oh, hey, what's up? We're just vibing here. I guess you can't get to the internet unless you have the special key you need. Fun fact, Proto Man is an optional boss, and he's really unfair and more difficult than Zero, I would say. But he's optional, so you won't see him today.
Okay, so the game branches out again. We can pick between two stages. We're gonna go to Legendary first because we want to do one more shopping trip from Number Man while we have the chance.
We're basically like, oh, how do we get past the redirection for the warp so we can actually get to the Undernet? So we're going to these two stages. This first one, the Legendary area. These last two stages are great. Got great music, and they're definitely cool stages in terms of how tough they are, and I don't know, just they're cool vibes.
They're also great
They're
listens,
definitely-
like two of my
Yeah.
favorite themes in the entire game, which says a lot
For
because the
sure,
music
for
in this
sure.
game, as we've said before, is fantastic. The one little bit of trivia I love about this game that I'd like to show off is that two of the three composers for this game, for those of you that know your music and Mamani games, two of the three composers were Sampling Masters Mega and Sampling Masters Aya. So it really explains the quality of the soundtrack. So we're just going to skip that really, really long ladder room so we don't have to go from ladder to ladder. And this is
Duke Jump
Legendary.
saves the day again.
This is what the internet was like before dial-up.
Yep. Back in the day with the pyramids and the tombs and this and that.
Alright, so we're going to use these Duke Jumps to skip the rest of these Yoku blocks and make sure I have enough MP right there. Okay, we're good.
Yep. So the Legendary area stage is definitely one of the physically biggest stages. It only has 2 rooms, but each room is you know,
Nice.
sizable. And there are some enemies that hit pretty hard and can kind of hunt you down a little bit. You'll see these gray rat viruses. They can hit really hard. These red ghost viruses can kind of like follow you around and sort of teleport inside you and just hit you. And then there's some spikes and there's some good platforming. ZELLLOO's a pro, so he just gets through the first room easy. And then for the second room, we're probably going to reg barrier,
Yes.
and we can essentially just ignore a whole bunch of the enemies.
Yeah, because there's quite a few strong enemies that do a lot of damage, so barriers are best just to plow through everything.
For sure. The gray rats are the strongest rat virus. There's a blue one that's sort of in the middle, and then these sort of brown and tan ones are the weaker ones. We really don't care about the brown tan ones because they barely do any damage to us at this point. But the gray ones definitely do hit really hard. And there's one in particular that I know.
Yeah, this is
ZELLLOO.
Shushu. That's Shushu, the little ratty right there that just kind of goes back and forth on the platform. My wife named him.
Yeah, Shushu definitely can sometimes give you a little bit of trouble. But those basically are the last 2 enemies of the area that can give you trouble. So there's some spikes and some normal ratties, but they're nothing too bad. The boss of this area, the one, the only, Pharaoh Man. If you watched the NT Warrior anime, you'll know that Pharaoh Man definitely got hyped up a whole lot. In this game, fortunately for us, because of the Buster not really triggering a counterattack, sometimes he just floats around the room and doesn't even attack. which is really funny to see. But he also has some attacks where he summons
He is
an
mad
Anubis.
today. Wow.
Yeah, is he being aggressive? Oh yeah, he is.
Well, he didn't give me
there's
a
an attack.
Anubis, at least.
Good. There's an attack called Anubis where he summons this purple statue that you have to hit 3 times with any attack, but it does this full screen sort of like interrupter attack, so you can't really charge your charge shot or anything, so you just want to get rid of it as soon as possible. Man's usually not too bad though.
Alright, so we're actually
Just
adding
annoying.
so we're adding Star Arrow to our folder now and gonna reg that. This has a really cool skip in it, so you want to explain like the different signature attacks from the Navis?
Yep. So in the story, every time we we defeat one of the bosses, we get their signature attack battleship. The bosses can drop 2 different chips, the signature attack and the actual Navi chip. If you're familiar with the Battle Network series, the Navi chip sort of just summons the boss and they do an attack. It's kind of like the screen has some little bit of time freeze and they do a strong attack. These signature attacks are different. These are the ones we always get in the story first. This is Star Arrow, the Starman signature attack, and instead of summoning Starman like the Navi chip would, it just uses one of his Star Arrows, which is a moving platform that we can stand on. And basically,
We're gonna
you'll
skip a
see
lot
that
of this.
we're gonna skip a lot of this second room.
Yeah,
I love it when you shoot the buster shots.
just outpace him. Yeah, we pull a Mega Man
Yeah.
5 like Super Arrow and just kind of just fly past a whole bunch of the stage. Unfortunately, we only get 1 use, but it's really good.
Yeah, that's the spot where you want to use it for sure. You have to do a slide under a wall on the Star Arrow, which you might have seen, and it takes a little getting used to. And there's some also other funky mechanics for the Star Arrow. I'm known for messing it up.
You have an infamous death off the arrow, which is very
a whole
cool.
bunch. Yeah.
Alright, so coming up to the boss of this level is Shadow Man, who's destroying the data that we were looking for. We're going to lock him in place because he's really scary. We don't want him to do anything.
He hits really hard. Fortunately, this is actually somewhere where we use their counterattack mechanics from chips to our advantage, because he always does the same counterattack, and we can kind of just lock him in place. Poor Shadow Man. And usually he's a really tough boss, but once you know that the cannons, that's another spot where the cannons being hit scan are really good.
I also love that quote of his, time to hide in the cyber leaves. And it's like, yeah, the cyber leaves of the trees that are in the abandoned, destroyed subway station. Yes.
Yep.
Alright, so we're coming up to the end of the run. This is going to be the last split right here. I'm going to focus while I do some menuing if Smog wants to take over.
Yeah, so
I missed.
we're gonna head up to the Undernet, and there's something that was introduced in Battle Network that is really important called a Program Advance. Basically, if you put certain chips if you select them in a certain order, for example, sword, wide sword, long sword, you get this, they sort of combine into this stronger attack. And so throughout the run, we've been collecting the different cannon chips, and they will give us a really, really good program advance that we are going to be fishing for soon in this stage. It's
I did not
the
reg.
cannon program advance.
I did not reg dupe jump. I have to leave
Oh,
real quick.
man.
That's okay. We just leave and come back in, so
Yeah,
no
yeah.
big deal.
The Zeta Cannon program advance gives us approximately like 10 seconds of invincibility plus unlimited M cannons, which do 120 damage. And that's basically going to carry us to the end of the run. It's very, 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 very good. We're just going to have to fish for it a little bit, probably. So ZELLLOO did a folder edit and put a bunch of single-use chips in his folder so that he can burn through them really quickly and find the chips that he's looking for faster.
So this game has a mechanic, like a lot of the other Battle Network games let you expand your availability of chips from 5 to a lot more, depending on different mechanics. In this game, for every chip that you do not take, you can choose that many more chips in the next trip to the custom screen, as long as you haven't edited your folder. So we're going to abuse that and just get all our chips in our folder to max out and make sure we have access to everything. This guarantees that we get the program advance.
That it does. That it does. These enemies in this last stage, because this is the undernet, hit really hard, and they have these things called auras. You see they have sort of an energy field around them. You have to either do 100 damage to the aura, or if it's an elemental aura, you can hit it with a weakness and it'll go away. You might have also seen it earlier with some different viruses, but the auras are a very important mechanic from here on out. So here ZELLOO's just burning through some chips.
I got everything I need.
Very good, very good. That was fast.
Yeah, only second try. So this is really important because, like I said, normally your chips and resources do not refresh when you die, and you have to jack out. But this like long late game boss rush, we're gonna get a refill between every major section, which is really good.
So here we are fighting an actual firewall, an internet firewall, and you see we get sort of this immunity, this invis immunity when we use the program advance, and we have unlimited M cannons, and he's just destroyed the firewall really quickly. And we get a refill of all of our chips right here. So we get the program advance back, and here's the boss rush.
Yep. So
this only is the first 8 bosses, right?
Yeah, just the first 8. They actually haven't had their stats upgraded either, so everything's going to go by very quickly with the Charge Buster. So this is actually a good time for any last announcements, if we have any.
Absolutely. We do have one more leftover little caboose on the $2 train. We have $22 from the Lupine one saying, Sheepman says trans rights, and so do I. And donation goes towards hearing that sweet, sweet Sunsoft sound in the Zelda Rendo finale. Good luck, Xandra. Well, thank you so much. And yeah, it's not showing up in the bid war on screen, but it is absolutely there since it's a secret. Don't tell anyone, but actually do tell people, because if there's a specific music you want to hear during the Link to the Past Rendo race finale, you can still get it in there. Right now, it is still Ease Mix in the lead at $50, but right behind it is the Sunsoft Mix at $27, and a whole lot of others at just single-digit numbers. So if there's a specific kind of music you want to hear, and we're talking about not just the NES, like this is actual, like, you know, quality audio piped in through an MSU system, and get your bids in, and we can hear the music you want us to hear at the end of the marathon.
Okay, so we got this really cool loop for Lekman right here, since we don't have enough tree bombs, so we're just gonna loop him over and over.
I like how he just points at you very aggressively.
Very menacing pointing. He thinks it'll do something. So that's our boss rush right there. So we're gonna get one more refill.
The bosses were Fireman, Gutsman, I forget the order, but Iceman, Brightman, Quickman, Needleman, Colorman, and Elecman.
So here's the power of friendship right here. The power of friendship lets you cheat and kill aura enemies without him breaking the auras.
Don't worry about it. Gutsman's just that good.
He really is. Alright, and that brings us to the
we got a full
boss.
heal. We got a full heal, and we got a refresh of our chips. And we fight the Life Virus car.
Yeah, this has a cool
So the Life Virus... Yeah, the Life Virus has an aura, 100 damage, or its elemental weakness to get rid of it. Our M Cannon PA, or Z Cannon, does the M Cannon damage, which is 120. So we hit it with an M Cannon, or a cannon hit. It has iframes. During the iframes, we charge our buster. That doesn't cause iframes. We release, and then immediately after the buster, we hit it with another cannon, charge our buster, repeat, and then the first phase, just that quick. This is the Life Virus core.
Time is when this boss hits 0 HP. I'll call it out. Time.
GG's.
Dang.
Yeah, I was gonna not explain the Life Virus core until after, because I knew it'd be quick. The Life Virus core basically just you don't want to touch it, but the bubbles that it drops bring you down to 1 HP, but they will not kill you. However, the Life Virus core itself will, and it does a lot of damage as well. So even if you're full health, it can hit really hard. But you know, runs have been known sometimes to die to the live virus core.
Yes, you accidentally
Kid,
touched
we're
the
looking at
core.
you. But other than that, very good time. GG's.
Thank you very much. So,
Yeah,
Lan
GG.
finally gets to enjoy his dessert, and we jack in one last time for no reason because it's Lan. So, big shout outs to Smog for helping with commentary. Big shout outs to the Team BN community for always being supportive, and especially Veralex for helping refine this run in the last year or so. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you all for having me. I guess we can get set up for what's next? Deedlit? I think Deedlit's next with Sabera. So
I believe you're right. Thank you so much for an incredible run. It was great to see just, yeah, how easy this game can be if you... I'm at a loss for words. That was great.
If you just abuse all the mechanics, it's easy. But nobody would ever do that, right?
Trust me. It's still not even that easy. ZELLOOO just makes it look good.
Thank
But
you
it's
for the run. Thank
definitely
you for
much
the
better than the casual playthrough.
Oh gosh, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was a great cap on the
Thank
Mega
you.
Man.
But yeah, enjoy the rest of the marathon. I'll see everyone later. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
And thank you, everybody. This has been the end of the Mega Man block, and also that's the end of me on host for this Power Quick Ride. It has been a pleasure to be in your ears a little bit. Stay tuned for Record of Lados War Deedlit. There's more to the title. Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth. Coming right up. And way later tonight, around 9:30 or so, you'll see me one more time because me, Glitchwitch, Arborelia, and Pink Kitty Rose will be in the final run of the marathon. So stay tuned for that. But honestly, it's just great runs for the rest of the day. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being you, and thank you for supporting us and the Trevor Project. Please take care, and let's keep making wonderful things together. Bye bye.